Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fan.
Good morning, everybody. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, November 17th. Today, Monday, November 17th, 2025. And you were in the Java Cafe this morning. We typically do a mental health Monday, but the correlation between today's topic, and we're talking about the Globe Summit that's coming up, but specifically a panel that's talking about reviving the Massachusetts economy, specifically for the middle class. We often in this Java Cafe talk about the correlation between our mental health. We had a segment called Black Mental Wealth. And so we are excited this morning to continue a conversation about economic equity. The brother that's coming in today, I, from afar, admire this brother. He does a lot in the media space. He works with Boston Globe Media, and I'm excited to bring him into the Java Cafe today to talk about the Globe Summit. And I want you all to do me a favor and welcome him. And also, I know the mothers are going to, welcome Brother Anthony and things like that. So get in the comments and welcome this good brother, Brother Anthony Hightower from Boston Globe Media. What's up, sir?
James, what's up, man? How you doing?
I am doing well. Now, I just got to get on you a little bit because I've talked to you many times, but it's different here because you got that whole radio voice going on. You could definitely do some drops and some voiceovers, but I'm excited. I'm humbled to have you here, sir, because as I said, you definitely do a lot in the media space. You're a silent storm in a lot of spaces around conversations and just making sure that our media literacy is intact. So we appreciate you for that. So welcome to the Java Cafe this morning. And I would like to ask you to introduce yourself. And at the end of your introduction, if you could, in one word, describe for me by your observation, your research, the state of the Massachusetts economy for the middle class in one word. Good morning.
In one word, huh? Okay, well, good morning, everybody. My name is Anthony Hightower. I am the Director of Culture Strategy and Marketing here at Boston Globe Media. And my goal within this role is to connect the dots between the Boston Globe journalism and the community, that it's serving in a sense. I'm born and raised, mad up here in Dorchester, stand up. But to answer your question, James, in one word, I would say dire. And that's dire. Yeah, it's in need of some work. We have enough of the initiatives to support. We're just not doing a good enough job to get the information out to those who can actually benefit from it. Which actually leads into something we're going to discuss a little bit later, but we'll hold that for now.
Absolutely. And dire is a interesting word because especially with things going on, tariffs and, those that are dealing with SNAP benefits and how that plays into their ability to expand, a revenue. And so it is definitely important. And there are so many things that on the state level that between the federal government and just, current state of things that are interesting. And so can you give us a little more context for dire? And then we can jump in because I looked at the Globe Summit. I looked at a lot of the panels, and this one specifically, Massachusetts always talks about its great economy, and we have, the rainy day fund and, whatever our credit standing is. But yeah, that word is most apropos, dire, in this time. So give me some context, and then if you could correlate that, talk a little bit about the summit as well. But this specific panel is going to talk about what we're talking about today. So we get a little bit of a preview about that. And then also we're going to tell you guys, get a little preview about something else that Anthony is involved with next month. So a lot there for you to unpack, sir. I'm sure you got it. You're in media.
Yeah. But yeah, dire in the sense that it's not where it needs to be. We know the potential of what's possible. I think it's just time to execute. We need more of these companies and organizations who have the resources to kind of get on the ground and maybe handhold a little bit, maybe educate a little bit more in terms of the services they offer. And it's not a one size fit all. So you got to come and meet these people and where they are and give them the resources that can benefit them wherever they stand in life. Um, you gotta forgive me. What was the second part of that?
The second part, well, there's about 3 or 4 parts. So forgiveness is all there. I'm known to pack 8 questions into 3 seconds. The based on what you said about the dire point, as I said, I looked at the Globe's agenda for the next 2 days, and it looks like they're very strategic in covering topics from climate change to bio to AI. Dire in the context of where we are and the summit and this particular panel, what from your being involved, what is the goal of this panel, and what is in relationship to dire, what the summit and the panel, that's where we are in part for A17 of that question.
Yeah. Well, the purpose of this particular panel is to give some context, not necessarily to the chosen word dire, but it does play a role. Give some context to where we are in an economy, the highs, the lows. And I'm no expert by any means. This is why I'm not on the panel particularly. However, the title in itself is, do we need another Massachusetts miracle? With everything going on, like you mentioned, SNAP benefits and all of this uncertainty in government, we need to figure out what steps can we take to not only sustain but to grow from these situations that we're in.
Though you're not moderating the panel, as I said, you're involved with it, and there is a wide variety of folks that are on the panel. So let's talk about the guests that are on the panel, and we can mention the moderator as well, because they're going to. We definitely appreciate moderators. They're going to extract a lot out of the conversation. And so, who's on the panel? And I believe this is Wednesday, the 19th, at if I remember right, 2:45.
Yes, so it's a 2-day panel. It's a 2-day summit. It starts tomorrow, but the panel specifically that we're talking about now is Wednesday. The moderator is our own Anika Butler, deputy managing editor. She will be having this conversation with, flagship pioneers Yvonne Howe, Eastern Banks, Ron Dorsey, and Center for American Progress, Professor Christian Weller. Those will be handling the conversation.
And I'm getting ready to just get for those of you that are watching and are interested in joining the summit or attending the summit, the information is active in the comments. And yes, if you're watching on James Hills, I'll go and put that over there as well. And so just to make sure you guys have this information while we're talking about it, it does start tomorrow and it's going until Wednesday. And so Anthony, have you been involved in like any of the prep calls for this, and what excites you most about this panel?
What excites me most about this particular panel is just the connectivity from where we are in the economy, how we can help provide resources to the community, and then it connects to the special event we're going to talk about a little bit later. So that's pretty much my involvement.
You got out of that real quick. You got out of that.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit, and just because I mentioned you being a silent storm, and you're in even in this, you're kind of in the background, but pushing and promoting. Particularly if you could talk about a little bit, and this is sort of off the cuff, but I just thought about it. You talked about the Globe's intentionality of getting information out to the community, and you correlated that to some extent about getting information out, and I don't want to say hand holding, but guiding, mentoring, businesses through. Can you talk a little bit just about that commitment from the Globe and in the position that you're in? I forgot to ask you about that. And I want to make sure that folks know, because this is a demonstration of that commitment, the panel, but you being there and doing that work as well are one of those demonstrations.
Wow, you did pack that in there, didn't you?
I don't- the text I'm going to get after this call.
No, it's all good. You know, we're an old company, right? 152 years old, and we've been committed to providing fact-based journalism since day one. And as we move into the next, I don't know, decade, whatever you want to define it as, the Boston Globe has been very intentional about reaching communities that historically they have not been reaching. And even more so now because of we'll go back to that word, dire uh, condition we're in this economy. It makes sense to find ways to give back and support some of those communities. And we do that in a myriad of ways. You know, whether it's, free trials, subscriptions to the Globe for information, whether it's hosting events and bringing these events to those in the community. There's newsletters for every topic you could think of. So we're trying to just find ways to be more accessible, impactful, and intentional with the community.
One of those things, and I have to name it. One of the other ways we have to mention us. One of the other ways that the Globe is demonstrating its commitment to inclusion and diversity is our good sister Janae Osterheld, who I'm sure there's some cross, pollination here, and we can get into the other thing that we're going to mention today. In addition to what's going on Wednesday, there's also an event coming up on December 4th. And so let's get ready to also talk about that because there's a little more focus there in
Yeah.
relationship to, I'll just say our life experience.
Yes. So yeah, big shout out to Janae. She's part of the reason I'm at the Boston Globe now. So what's up, Janae? Yes, we have a team here called Money, Power, and Inequality, and their focus is, narrowing or closing the racial wealth gap, right? So with that, they do all the research to how things were, where things are, and how we can get to where we need to be in the future. And this event on December 4th is going to be a culmination of some of the work that they've been doing over these last few months.
I am trying to navigate to that now in the background, to the specific December 4th event. I see everything that's going on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you, Anthony, and my audience knows we do stuff in real time. If you have the link, there's a little spot on your right that says private chat. If there's a link for the 4th, please feel free to throw that in there. And I can remind the folks to come out about that. And that's taking place at RCC. And I am familiar with the work about the and I can't remember the exact focus of the name, but it's around I would say Black economics and equity. And so that's happening on December 4th. So there's a lot going on at the Globe, and with the 152 year history. And you mentioned that the Globe started out making sure that accuracy is a very important word right now when it comes to information. And so in these times, I just want to mention that I think it's dope. I'm sorry, that I think it's most apropos and great that the Globe is doing that. So I'm going to share with the audience the link for the Building Wealth in Boston Barriers and Opportunity. And that is taking place in collaboration with a Real Talk Radio. So I'm going to put that in the comments as well. So you all do have the information about both of these events. Tuesday and Wednesday is the summit, and also December 4th is the event. And so what can you give us just a little sneak peek, a little bit more? I like to drop first and information here. What's something that we can look forward to either from the summit in general or the event on the 4th? I'd be glad to, if you want to drop something here.
I mean, the biggest thing to look forward to is just fact-based information, and this is primarily from the experts at the summit. These moderators and panelists are handpicked because they are specialists in those particular topics. So if there's a particular topic that you're interested in, please sign up please join. You can do it in person. You can also do it virtually. Like I said, the goal is making it intentional to make this accessible to everybody. So unless your schedule doesn't permit, there's really no reason not to attend the summit. In terms of the event in December, I think it's going to be a little bit of a wow moment, because when you understand the work that went into, what we're going to be discussing during this panel discussion, we're kind of amazed some of the attendees. I won't go too much into detail, but just know that uh, we hear you, and we hope that we are doing a service uh, at the end of the day.
And it's so important to be heard. And it's interesting from a media outlet that puts information out to hear you say that a media outlet hears their constituency and their audience and their readers, and in these days listeners as well. I think that is definitely awesome to hear as well. I just want to remind folks that we have the links for both events in the comments. The first one is for the actual summit that's taking place again this Tuesday and Wednesday at the House of Blues. And also on December 4th, there is the event that is taking place at Roxbury Community College, and that is the Building Wealth in Boston panel and update, and as well update rather as well. And Anthony, because I have different type of guests, and I've been looking at this, and I think it's really been on our radar, and you can confirm or give your thoughts here, that since about 2020, George Floyd and things like that, there has been this, well, was in some cases was and is this commitment to black economy and also equity and women. And so where do you think we're going? And then after that, I'll let you go. I'm curious to your thoughts there, because you're in this space. My intersections are interesting as far as information. I'm sure yours are. What is your perspective about where we're going? And then what can we look forward to for the Globe's continued commitment to be moving in this space and getting out accurate information and engagement? I love the engagement that the Globe is doing.
I mean, the first thing is that a lot of people don't know what they don't know, right? And over the years, or since the time frame that you mentioned, other communities are starting to pay attention and to really understand who drives just about everything, right? I won't go too deep into that, because if you know, you know. However, I think the goal in all of that is to really rally around those particular communities, because they have been the driving force and will continue to be the driving force. So you either get on the train or you get left behind to a degree. And we're going to continue to be in these positions. So it's better to get on the train now.
And I mean, the Globe is on the train, and in this case, driving a little bit as well. So I definitely appreciate that. I promise after that one, I would go ahead and let you go, because again, Anthony, you're familiar with the podcast. Your answers get my brain to going, and all right. I promise. I promise this is the last one. When you talked about the contributions that various communities, and let's just generally say marginalized communities, have made to the economy, either on the panel or with what you are going to present on the 4th, is there any data around our immigrant brothers and sisters and how that's playing a role, in Massachusetts economy? I'll leave it low with just 3 parts in that question. Is there any data that we can expect to hear on either at the summit and on the panel about our immigrant brothers and sisters in this work, because they are a part of it?
I can't speak to the summit. However, there should be, and I think there will be, some data to support the conversation on at the event on the December 4th. It won't just be the immigrant community. It'll be all communities of color, because they were all kind of considered in this research. So I believe there will be some type of data, and if it's not discussed at the event, it will be displayed as part of the journalistic research.
And I'll just say this, and we'll close with this. The fourth is not just an event one and done. There's going to be ongoing, as you said, promotion by the Globe and engagement around the data found, because just presenting the data and leaving it there, for some of us, what we already know and experience, that engagement and work is definitely going to be important. And so again, I promise that was the last one. Anthony, any closing remarks?
Like you mentioned, this isn't a one and done event. If for those who have been following, this is probably the third or fourth event this year, with the same intention. We had one earlier this year that was in support of Black-owned businesses. We had one that was in support of how the Latino community is revitalizing Massachusetts. You know what I mean? So we are definitely trying our best to meet the community where they are and discuss issues that are important to them. So though this event in December 4th will be probably will be the last of the year, there's a whole lot more to come in 2026. Trust me.
And I'm definitely looking forward to being involved and being a part of that. And Anthony, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. As you know, I often joke about legacy mainstream media. And I want to thank you and also the Globe for its intentionality around engaging a few of the local community-driven media platform. I have to name that. And thank you for the intentionality for that. Because that also, okay, I'm going to let you go, but that's also informing and influencing the economy, because we're Black-owned businesses and women-owned businesses in some cases. And so again, this is not a Java After Dark podcast. And so I'm going to let you go and you'll be back. I'll just leave that as that. You will definitely
look forward to it.
If you're open to it, I would love to either recap the summit and the panel, and a combination of the fourth. And so if you would like to come back in December and really, talk about all of that, I'd be glad to have you back. And maybe we can do that Java After Dark. So we're not pressed for time and
yes.
Okay. All right. Anthony, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for all you're doing there. And give my love to Janae, and we'll talk soon.
Yes. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. And give my best to caller as well.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you, man. Folks, I hope you, go and look at the summit and the details about it. There's a lot of great information, and there's a lot of great panels that are happening. I'm going to do my best after the show tomorrow to get over there to House of Blues at 15 Lansdowne Street. But I am definitely going to make sure I'm in place on Wednesday to hear the panel with Brother Tehran that Brother Anthony was talking about, and others that are going to be on that panel. So let me just reiterate and share with you that the first event is the summit taking place starting tomorrow. And also, here we go. Brother Short Bus, Brother Sam is in the room. I didn't even see him. Will that miracle help the Black folks? I seen it for others. Will it help us? Very good question. And Sam also said, Dyer sounds scary. I wish I was in the, actually, I'm glad I wasn't in the comments, because Sam would have had he and Anthony here another hour. There is the event for the summit. That's the information on James, on Java with Jimmy. And I put it on James Hills if you're watching there as well. And then also here is the information for the event taking place on December 4th. That is on Java with Jimmy and James Hills as well. So please check both of those out. I did see a question from my mother, of course. Is it virtual? I believe it is virtual, Ma. I'm not exactly sure. There is a registration fee to attend in person, and also maybe virtually as well. Shout out to Arthur that's in the building. Thanks for the conversation. Well spoken, Anthony Hightower. Absolutely. And brother, main topic is in the room. Podcast host, commentator, social media influencer, and chef. So good to see you in the room. And thank you all for what you all do. I'm just going to mention the Sparring Minds podcast as well. So we're going to get ready to wrap up, everyone. I want to, first of all, start out by asking you all to please keep Miss Teresa in your prayers. She let me know last evening that she has been hospitalized again. We have an idea of, well, they, the doctors, but her and I, we text. There's an idea of what's going on. And I told her, like we said before, she's going to be home quick. She's going to surprise the doctors and she'll be good. Additionally, I wanted to also mention another Java family member, a charter member. It is my brother Rob's birthday. Rob Mason, happy birthday to you, brother. I love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the family, and being around for so many years and being a support here and being one of my first photographers. Rob, and Rob also, I think he had a podcast at some point. Or was he working with Dell and them? But Rob, happy birthday, brother. Hopefully you're still in the room. Brother Milton, good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room. Thank you for all you do as well. Folks, we're going to get ready to wrap up. I got a lot of stuff to do. Sometime in December, there's going to be a testimony Tuesday that I'm going to give a testimony. And I just think of the words Bishop Moles. Dance about it now and talk about it later. And I'll leave that there. Don't forget to check out the Globe Summit tomorrow and Wednesday, and also plan to attend the December 4th event at Roxbury Community College. Thank all of you for being with us today. Shout out to anyone that is new in the room. Shout out to the folks that are on over on Instagram. Good to see you all in the room. Dina, thank you for what you do. Hopefully you're feeling better as well. I hope that when we ask you all to keep the Java family members and others in prayer, that you're doing that. Also keep our city in prayer. I'm seeing escalation of incidents of violence in our community. And as we've been saying, for the past few months, that right before the holidays, and we're here, that things are going to be interesting. And so please keep that in mind. Again, thank you all for being here. And we will talk with you tomorrow. And tomorrow, speaking of what's going on, tomorrow at 10 a.m., we are going to speak with Sharon Scott Chandler of Action for Boston Community Development. They have been coming on Java with Jimmy since 2020, talking about LIHEAP. And that is basically the fuel assistance program. With everything that's going on, the federal government and changes and budgets and government shutdowns and all that stuff, ABCD has a flyer out, and they're coming to talk to us about it to demonstrate that they're still here and they're still helping. And so I'm excited to have them with us tomorrow at 10 a.m. And my mother is slick. For those of you that don't know, Union Capital, a local nonprofit here in the city of Boston, gives points for their registered members to get gift cards when they participate in community activities. Watching Java with Jimmy, Boston's #1 community-driven platform, you get points for that. My mother just realized that it was 10:30, and that at 10:31, instead of a half an hour, once you cross that half-hour period, you get an hour's worth of points. I'm going to leave that alone. It's 10:32, Milagro. Y'all don't need the weather, but just for whatever's sake. Uh-oh. See, this is why I don't go to my phone. Where's the weather? Today's weather, it's currently 40 degrees and yeah, I think I'm gonna try to make phone calls instead of going to the bank. It's 40 degrees. It feels like 21. The high is 42 and the low is 33. We got to win. Oh, Jesus. We're at a point where we have wind chill factors again. Today it's going to be 33 to 42. It feels like 21 currently. That can't be true. All right. Let me get off of here so I can make these phone calls, because I'm not. Nope. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow with Sharon Scott Chandler from Action for Boston Community.